actually really simple. There are only two things that you need to remember about while and during, and you'll get them right every single time. Hello everyone, welcome back to another English lesson with me. My name is Catalin. In today's video, we're going to be learning about two words that have a very similar meaning. So you might have struggled to use them before, or they might be a little bit confusing to you. These two words are while and during. In this lesson, we're going to be learning what these words mean, what is the difference between them, and how to use them correctly. So let's get into the lesson. Let's first try to understand what while and during mean. Now I'm talking about while here as a conjunction because it can be used in many different ways. But when we use it as a conjunction, it has pretty much exactly the same meaning as during. And that meaning is that something is happening at the same time that another thing is happening. So two things are happening at once. Now, although these words share a meaning, there are some very important differences in how we use them. For example, you can't say, you can't talk while the exam. You'd have to use during for that. And you can't say, I ate dinner during watching TV. You'd have to use while for that. It's pretty confusing, right? So let's take a closer look at those sentences and some more examples to see if we can spot a pattern and see what's going on here. So correcting our first sentence that we had, you can't talk while the exam, we should actually say you can't talk during the exam. Let's take a look at some more examples of using during correctly in a sentence. Owls sleep during the day and hunt at night. During the holidays, I had a really good time. And it snows during winter. If we take a look at all of those sentences, we should be able to notice a bit of a pattern here. After the word during, we always have a noun or a noun phrase. We have the day, the holiday, winter. All of these are nouns. This here is the main difference between during and while. After during, you always need to have a noun or a noun phrase. This actually makes a lot of sense because if you think about what type of word during is, it's a preposition. And our golden rule of prepositions in English is that you have to use a noun or noun phrase after them. They need an object. You can never follow a preposition with a verb. And unlike many rules in English, this one actually has no exceptions. This rule also helps us to understand why we couldn't say our second sentence. I ate dinner during watching TV. Watching is a verb, so we know from the golden rule of prepositions that we cannot have during before that. So because we can't use during, then we must use while. I ate dinner while watching TV. That sentence is much better. So now we know how to use the preposition rule to understand when not to use during, but it's also important to understand how and when you should use while. So let's do the same thing that we did before, take a look at some examples and see if we can find a pattern. We could say, I listened to music while I did my homework. What did you do while you were on holiday? I bought some more cookies while I was at the shop. Let's think about what comes after the word while in all of those sentences. We have while I was doing my homework, while you were on holiday, while I was at the shops. And if you're really paying attention, you might notice that in each of those little bits of that sentence, we have a subject and a verb, and that makes them clauses. A clause in English is a group of words that show the relationship between a subject, a personal thing that does something, and an action, a verb. So now you might begin to see the pattern. After the word while, we always need to have a clause. And again, this makes sense if we think about what type of word while is. As I said before, it's a conjunction, and it's a very specific type of conjunction. It's a subordinating conjunction. Subordinating conjunctions link a dependent and independent clause together. Now, if you aren't sure what those are, you can watch my video lesson on clauses, which I've left down in the description box below for you. So you can see in all of those examples that we had while linking an independent and dependent clause. So to wrap things up today, it's actually really simple. There are only two things that you need to remember about while and during, and you'll get them right every single time. First of all, during is a preposition, so it always needs to be followed by a noun or noun phrase. And while is a subordinating conjunction, so it needs to be followed by a clause. If you guys would like to test yourself, I've left some questions down in the description box below. You guys can fill those out, post your answers in the comment, and I'll give you guys some feedback. And that's all that I've got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps me out. And if you have any questions or you'd like to connect with me on social media, you can do that at these links. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye!